was always interested in music, American folk music, and I had heard like these recordings of Ravi Shankar, and I didn't understand it, which is sort of what drew me to it. So I started taking lessons and I fell in love with it, and now it's a big part of my life.
As a kid, I was always interested in it. I played the piano and I played Western classical music, but I always had this interest in learning more about my culture, and so I finally got the opportunity this summer to start learning an instrument, and I chose Tabla, and I love it. It's great.
What I learned about music was the discipline in the music, that how constantly you must sit down and forget about the whole world and just you and your music, you and your instrument. It's like one, merging each other. I never knew that it would happen to in music. People just play it and just leave it somewhere and just go out.
You always have to be disciplined. You can't like just joke around and stuff like that. You have to like learn, respect your elders, and work hard.
Your music is a lifelong study, and that's a wonderful thing. You know, constantly learning new things, as well as being challenged. What I love about the music is that it uplifts. You know, it uplifts the spirit. It uplifts people.
Ina's great. I go and she either prepares a piece for me or she looks in her book from what she learned from her teacher. She teaches me that, and that's great because it's sort of, I feel like I'm learning the history of music or a slice of history from her life, which is, I find it really interesting.
It was at the age of 4 that I started getting educated in a wonderful school in India, educational school which had a lot of experimentation on music and dance, and I chose dance and I loved it. But then after I got married, I switched to music and it turned into Sitar, got good Sitar instructors, and I'm now passing on the knowledge to my students.
And I love learning from him. I think being brought up in this country, we're used to a Western style of teaching, and I feel like this the style of Eastern teaching with the Ustad and the Shagird, the student, it's much more holistic, and I'm not only learning Tabla, I'm learning more about the culture and poetry and all parts of the fine arts that our culture is looked at in high regard. So.
We try to preserve tradition and purity of the music. My emphasis is music must. Teach music, practice music like a spiritual way. Don't make music as your business. I'm more into the music for devotion, for spirituality, for the purity, for cleanliness, for the unity, for the peace, for the love.
Eastern approach to rhythm is very different. It's studying rhythmic cycles and learning to approach rhythm in a cyclic way. A direct contact with the instrument. With playing drums, you're playing with sticks, and playing tabla, your hands are on the instrument. It's a different feel. It's a completely different approach. Of course, there's commonalities between them. Rhythm is something you might say which is universal.
All the tals involves math and how you cut down every beat and how it's divided from one piece to another. We have 4, we have 6, we have 7, we have 8, we have 9, we have 10, we have 12, we have 14, and we have 16. Beginning, we start with 16 beat, which is regular. It's called teen ta. Da din din da da din din da da din din da din din da. And in teen ta, we have all these different pieces. This is like kaidas, which have been passed down from generations to generations. And after you learn the kaidas and your hand is developed good enough, so then we move on, and then we learn different talas for rupa, kerva, jhabtal, dadra, all different talas.
I'm Daniel Konen, and I play Sitar.
Mary Walker, and I'm learning vocals and harmonium.
Kalavant.
Tim Plum, I play tabla.
Adam Kalavant, and I play the tabla.
Alex Samuel.
Surabhi Loshali, and I'm learning Hindustani vocals.
Shakir Kalavant, and I'm a Sitar.
Meena Hassan, and I'm learning tabla.
My name is Zakir Khan, and I'm a tabla player.
Meena Kalavant. I'm a Sitar instructor at the Kalavant Center for Music and Dance.
Ustad Kader Khan, I'm the founder director of Kalavant Center for Music and Dance.